Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts. Find a location near you. Now.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium Black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool. But they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So, we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
Capping off the first weekend in the month of December with this matchup here tonight at Covenant Christian High School. The Warriors trying to defend home court, taking on the Crusaders of Scecina High School, all coming to you live right here on IndianaSRN. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. The Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and the community since 1955. Looking forward to this matchup to cap off 4 games that we had on the network spanning from early afternoon, and now we have our nightcap here with Craig Cox. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. Covenant Christian trying to defend home court so far this season. They've started 2-1 under head coach Scott Flatt, who is in his 18th season. Got wins 201 and 202 to start off this season, and now looking for the third win of the year. But the Scecina club, Craig, pretty good starting this season, 4-1 under a first-year head coach in Jim Stambro. Have a couple of key returning pieces, including Mason Burial and David Mendez, two of the guys that were key in their win last night against a pretty good Park Tudor squad.
Yeah, it's always a bit different when you have a changing of the helm. You got a new coach coming in. Coach Stan Brew has done a good job in his first 4 or 5 games here leading into tonight, but establishing a new culture, a new identity. There's always going to be some carryover, but there's also going to be some new pieces to that, and so there's some adjustments to that early on, but they've played some strong ball. Had a really big win last night in a sectional opponent with Park Tudor, and winning a close one there. So when you can grind out some of those early wins against a sectional foe, it really puts them in a good position for momentum.
And so far a team through 5 games averaging over 60 points per contest, so they're putting up big numbers on that scoreboard. And last night, same exact story, 58-55, the win over a very athletic and well-sounded Park Tudor team. And another tough test. Back-to-back nights. Now you're on the road at Covenant Christian. This Warriors team, very experienced, very senior-led. It could very well be a starting 5 that is all upperclassmen at least, and almost all of them are seniors. But can't rule out Tony Flatt and his ability on both the offense and the defensive side of the basketball. And in their win that they got against Covington last night, you saw that game. They had a couple of other guys step up and put up some big numbers. When Flatt got into foul trouble, Wyatt Wash, Andrew Crane, 2 terrific talents when it comes to scoring the basketball.
It is. I mean, the Crane family's no stranger to the Covenant program. His older brother graduated a year or 2 ago, Ben, and has done a good job carrying the family piece of that as he did last night too. Did a really good job of not only in the scoring column, but was great in the distribution of just sharing the ball last night. Also took 3 charges and really did a lot on the glass. But I'll tell you, they spread it out. You know, Covenant's a team that lost a lot of their scoring, almost 60% of their scoring from last year. But, you know, we talked last night in the broadcast with Covenant is, you know, with a lot of these teams, sometimes, you know, less can be more. You're in positions to where sometimes when you have those 1 or 2 guys on your team, it really puts yourself in a position where you have a lot more ISO plays, and you got guys standing around watching those guys make things happen, and you kind of take the leftovers. And without that, what it does is it just helps bring balance within the team, and we're seeing that a lot, at least with Covenant here early on. Both these teams have had a pretty aggressive amount of games already within just the first 2 weeks, averaging about 2 games every week, and so early out the gate. And both of these have had some tough contests. I mean, Covenant came in with the second game of the season with a 4A opponent in Mount Vernon as well. So both these coaches doing a good job with their programs. I'm sure we'll have a really good one here tonight.
A trend that we've seen really strong today, actually. Nick, who's our producer for this game, earlier on we were at Gearin Catholic High School for the girls' game. And the trend with Covenant Christian, it seems like, very strong family trees. We saw Ella Crane and Emmeline Flatt play for the girls' squad earlier today, and now we're about to see Andrew Crane and Tony Flatt. Of course, they have a couple other siblings that have gone through Covenant Christian athletics as well. So always fun to see many players on this Covenant Christian squad, whether it be girls or boys, and just the long family history that we get from this school. So we'll take our first break, and we'll step aside. We'll break down this game just a little bit more between Covenant Christian and Scecina tonight on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Back at Covenant Christian High School, the Warriors and Crusaders getting set to do battle here tonight on IndianaSRN. For Covenant Christian, a 2-1 record to begin this season. Coach Flatt, again, in his 18th year. He's been there for quite some time now. He's had his older son come through, and now Tony, who is a senior. We just mentioned we saw Emmeline play earlier today as a freshman for Covenant Christian, so we're going to see the Flatt family still for quite some time. But we mentioned the experience and how many seniors are on this squad. We're counting 6 guys for this Covenant Christian team for Coach Flatt, and just, you know, the camaraderie that they have. It feels like this group of guys, they've been playing here forever.
No, and I think you get that. Especially it's a little bit more prominent, maybe in the fee-based system. You get it in public as well, but you know, that it keeps the families really busy too. You talked about earlier some of the sisters playing earlier today, and they're bouncing around town as well. But there is a lot that certainly goes through with what the program has.
Covenant Christian has won the last 5 meetings between these two, and in their last 26 games, going back quite some time, Covenant Christian owning this series 16-10. The last time these two teams met was in the first round of sectional back in March. It was a low-scoring game, 36-31, and the Warriors also won the regular season matchup by 10, 55-45. So will that trend continue with Covenant Christian owning the series, or can Scecina get a win on the road? We'll find out next when we come back on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Covenant Christian High School. Starting lineups now being introduced. And as we speak, the home team, the Warriors, their starting lineup. There's Paxton Bacon. He is in the starting lineup, number 23. We also see Jamison Laughlin enter the starting lineup. Those two both at a guard position. Wyatt Wash, who had a tremendous game against Covington last night, 58-46, the victory there. There's Tony Flatt, number 2. And then also rounding out the starting 5, Andrew Crane, one of the 6 seniors on the roster for Covenant Christian. And the starting 5 out there on the floor looks like this. For Scecina, they have number 1, Tebow. Number 12, David Mendez. We mentioned him in the pregame and the ability that him and Mason Burial have. Burial wears number 22. Number 14 is Seth Trimble Sunderland. And 34, Caleb Milan. Milan adding a size advantage for Scecina.
Yeah, it's nice when you not only start a 6'8" kid, but even more so when he's only a sophomore. Kind of like that to be able to not only have the balance of this year as well as the next 2.
Just about to get underway. Want to remind you this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Milan reaches up and tips it into the backcourt, and it's fielded by Covenant Christian. First chance, no good. Second chance doesn't fall. And the third opportunity, they say Crane came flying in and gets called for the foul from behind.
Well, certainly great position. Normally you'll see the have that defended on the tip to be able to have somebody back, but Wash wasn't able to knock that down. Got a couple rebounds and putbacks, and got to be able to try to knock those down when you got those opportunities.
Tebow catches it on the far side. Zone defense to begin things from Covenant.
Tebow's a returning leading scorer from last year, averaged 17 and 4 boards and 2 assists, so one that really adds a great scoring component for this Crusader offense.
Running through a set, trying to attack this zone defense properly. There's Mendez with it. They flash in Trimble Sunderland at the free throw line.
You'll see a lot of this, too, in terms of the whole matchup. Coach Flatt's always been noted for that. Even though it's a zone, you're going to get a lot of good ball pressure. Got to be patient through it, work the ball inside, outside, and really look for the seams, skip passes, and trying to get some more seal screens as well.
It's Laughlin and Flatt at the top of the 2-3 zone, and a long, drawn-out possession for Scecina.
Great patience by the Crusaders, but a really good job of containment and playing gap defense by your Warriors as well.
Mendez puts it on the floor, but has to retreat. Inside, the dump down to Milan, and patience pays off for Scecina. Give the assist to Trimble Sunderland.
Yeah, about a minute 45 seconds, and showing some great patience in terms of the ball movement and playing for the shot that they wanted.
Flatt on the drive. Gets the foul called on Burial.
And again, Covenant will look to really play for a lot of threes. Last night probably took around 30 that they and shot the ball really well coming in.
Swinging it around the arc. Flatt finds an open area. His jump shot gets jammed.
That'll go to the Crusaders with the alternate possession there. But really good job of Tony. That's what you got to do against a zone, is really, especially from the weak side, seeing where the gaps are at, being able to flash those, especially when the defense is not paying attention and turn their back to you. Shoot those gaps, and what that's going to really expose is not only the mid-range game, but also some high-low action as well.
Mendez will bring it across. Just 2 points to show for through 2.5 minutes. We'll see if Scecina stays just as patient this time around. Milan screens and now catches it in the short corner, in some trouble with Flatt coming over to help. An errant pass, saving it nicely was Tebow.
You get the post passes like that. You'd really like to see more of that, what we refer to as a Laker cut, more of the give and go, and try to create some movement. If you don't, then a lot of times what it allows is the defender to be able to double down on that. And as you mentioned, they are showing a lot of that patience still, even here on possession 2. We're almost halfway through the quarter and have seen 3 total possessions.
It's already been a minute-long possession. Down low, Milan has a size advantage, and there to clean it up. Trimble Sunderland catches it in stride.
Yeah, great job of attacking the glass, and he's got that length to be able to do that. Wide, long wingspan, but really good putback in attacking the glass.
Caleb Milan stands at 6'8", and Trimble Sunderland, who flown in and put it in off the glass, is at 6'5".
And you see the Crusaders now have gone to man-to-man defense as well now. Good little shot fake there to get him off as we see the replay of the nice attack on the offensive glass there by Seth.
Halfway through this first quarter, Covenant looking for their first points. Flat in the corner, able to get things out. Crane has thought about a 3 now.
Well, and a key tonight, too, for this Crusader defense was really going to be doing some really hard closeouts on the perimeter. You got to really contest Covenant because they like, again, to shoot the 3. If you give them some space, they're certainly going to put it up. Great job here of defending in transition here.
Barrialt fronting the pass. Steals it away. Scecina working a little bit faster this time. Entry down low. Second chance for Trimble Sunderland, but he goes 0 for 2.
Yeah, really good job there by Andrew on the block out as we got here goes the 3 of the night where you have the comfort zone of the Warriors coming up short.
Quick empty trip for Covenant. Scecina getting back to slowing things down offensively.
Yeah, neither of these teams are going to be real high in tempo. They'll take what the defense gives them, but that's just not their staple. They're both more of a half-court team and trying to break you down with just a lot of ball movement. Not so much the player movement, but ball movement on both.
A quick pass from Tebow down to Milan. He spins over his left shoulder, and Crane soars up for the board.
Yeah, doing a good job of getting the ball inside. You'd like to see the bigs, when they get it in there, kind of move the crab dribble a bit more and trying to get to the basket as opposed to working themselves away from it.
Bacon uses the Crane screen.
Back to the man-to-man here. The Crusaders have kind of mixing up a little bit defensively. And when they're in this, you really like to see they're trying to attack that high foot, using your inside hip and getting downhill a bit with the penetration, as we'll see our first sub coming into the game for tonight. Looks like it's going to be Jordan Porter, the 5'10 senior.
And Porter's going to get Barrialt, who just picked up his second.
Yeah, and you might recognize he's got a brother on the team as well, Madden, but Mason was a standout player on the football team. Really multi-dimensional, both offensively and defensively. Had a great football career for himself.
Mason, a senior, sits with his 2. Madden at a sophomore. 6 minutes, no points yet for Covenant up until now. Tony Flatt, corner 3.
And congrats going out to Tony as well. Just was recently named to the 1A All-State football team recently, so shout out to him and his family. Doing it now on the hardwood.
And he draws a foul on Trimble Sunderland, who's trying to create some space. So offensive foul, we're heading the other way. Well deserved for Tony. We saw him many times this year, football season.
And he's kind of carrying over his position from the gridiron from quarterback to kind of being the quarterback on the basketball team now, and just a good floor leader and kind of knows one speed. We talked about that before the game started. Really hard-nosed kid, and what you'd kind of expect being a coach's son as well.
Yeah, one word for Tony Flatt, motor. That's the word
right.
I would give. Good
nice
cut.
Really good
just
back
left
cut.
It short.
Really good find as well. That ball looked like it got deflected. I don't know if they saw that, but I thought it went off the Crusader, but they'll call it Crusader ball.
Jamison Laughlin caught it during his cut. The shot just does not fall.
Now we'll see if they hold for the last shot with over a minute to go, right?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, one thing is with both these teams, they're we're a little unknown with Coach Stambrew being in his first year, but both these two teams systematically and historically have been pretty disciplined teams, as we'll get an offensive foul here on Milan.
And for Milan, that's his second.
Yeah, it's tough. Got a little bit of foul trouble with two key players. One in your length with Milan, the sophomore 6'8", and then Mason Barriott, the senior 6'2". So we'll see how that plays out here, not only for this first half, but as we get deeper here in the second.
Could very well be a huge factor as this game moves along. Two players each with two personals. Nice back cut. Wash got fouled and converts the bucket.
Yeah, really nice cut. But the better thing that you like there is the find. When you have teammates that are being well coached about having basket vision, there's so many times you see young players or just high school in general where they'll catch the ball and they're automatically thinking about putting the rock on the floor as opposed to saving the dribble or catching it and getting basket vision, which is what you saw Tony Flatt finding Wyatt there for the back door and the possible and one.
The assist, the made bucket, and the foul, which is on Trimble Sunderland, that's his
second too.
So three players with two fouls each. The ball tips and finds the hands of Flatt. So Wash.
I tell you, in last night's game too, Wash's name was called quite often. I think he ended up with 18 points and had 14 in the second half. So there's two or three guys that can really put up 15-plus points for you for this Warrior offense.
Isaac Niemeyer has checked in, along with Austin Humbert, the first two substitutions used by Coach Flatt. And his son, Tony, dribbles with 9. Has it tipped from behind, saving it, and a three-quarter court heave down the floor finds the hands of Tebow. How about that play made by Scecina?
Yeah, and not only that, what a heads-up play. A lot of times you'll see kids throw the ball just right where they're trying to save it. He had the mindset to know to throw it towards his basket, and even if your teammate don't recover that, at least you take Covenant further away from there. So really good heads-up play as I drew a foul.
That was Mendez, who throws in the inbound and not seeing the clock at first, has to put up a low percentage three. That was Clifford Brown. It's off the mark. A low-scoring, very calm, patient first quarter ends up being completed. 5-4 your score with the Warriors leading after one. Back at Covenant Christian High School with Craig Cox, I'm Jarrett Lewis. First quarter of play brought to you in part by Industrial Sales Associates. They've been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for many states, including Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. Good luck to all teams during the sports season. For more information about Industrial Sales Associates, contact Rich at 317-546-1900. 9 combined first quarter points. Trimble Sutherland and Milan had 2 points each, but they also have 2 fouls each, so they're on the bench to begin the second quarter. couple of substitutions made by Covenant, and coming over with a huge swat, but a foul is called on the driving Isaac Weininger.
Yeah, I love the downhill attack too. Just love to see guys really attack mode, playing the percentages, getting downhill, making their guys defend and not always settling on the jump shot. So really good job there by Weininger to get down and try to get points here from the stripe.
Which Weininger does. He makes the first. Second free throw looks just as good. A lot of different guys out there for Coach Flatt. Crane and Flatt, two usual starters, still out there on the floor. And then they also have Niemeyer, Farrell, who's in for the first time, and then Weininger.
And that's one thing, too. Last night we saw this in the same as we get another three here up by Niemeyer. His first points of the night, getting in the scoring column, is not giving up offensive boards. Last night they only gave up like 4 or 5 in the whole game, and really done and been evident here so far, doing a good job on the defensive boards here.
Pass from Tebow, doesn't quite thread the needle. Will stay out of bounds under with Scecina. Largest lead so far for Covenant has grown up to 6.
Well, and Scecina scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions and hadn't scored since.
Tebow hasn't had a shot attempt up yet, I should say. 3 from the right wing. Offensive rebound after the shot from Clifford Brown. Jordan Porter's still out there. He gets it back.
You see the middle of the floor, both these teams when they're in their zones, really the high post area is really a key focal point. Looks like you're going to get a timeout here by Stansborough, who wants to try to get a little bit more things happening here offensively or something that he saw that he didn't like.
Coach Stanbro calling the timeout. It's just a 30-second timeout, looking to figure out how they want to attack this Covenant Christian defense. This second quarter sponsored by Aspen Creek Grill. Feel like treating someone special to a delicious meal from Aspen Creek Grill. Next time you come in for dinner, buy some gift cards to share with some of your friends. It's the season of giving, after all. Aspen Creek Grill, great food, great atmosphere. Coach recommends the Powwow Shrimp. Aspen Creek Grill, located in Noblesville, Indiana.
I tell you, Coach, I got a big menu cuisine, man. He's always talking about food. You know, there's this BLTs and then the Sloppy Joes and now it's shrimp. We got to get some food in here, making me hungry.
Yeah, the past couple weeks now I've been saying that, and still nothing. Coach, he's enjoying his time down in warmer weather, down in the south.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
He's probably eating some powwow shrimp down in the Sunshine State.
Yeah, I hope that he's on IndianaSRN watching this. So if you are, Coach, go ahead and take a bite for us right now.
So out of the timeout, Scecina and try and figure out this Covenant defense.
Yeah, really good job there by Jordan. I almost calling him Jason, but really good hesitation dribble, kind of a stop and go, kind of caught his defender off balance and just hit him with a re-attack and did a great job of using his body to get to the line.
And I believe they got Neftali Farrell called on the foul. Porter's first free throw, no good. Second free throw, though, does rattle in. Off a screen, good movement, kicking out.
Yeah, I like that action coming off of it. Read his defender really well with Flatt on the 3.
Flatt's 3. Looked like he was hesitant to shoot it and still followed through with it and ended up missing everything.
Yeah, I love to see players reading their defender. He felt him following him. So in those cases for the younger players out there, you feel your defender following you, you want to curl on that curl on the screen there to make it harder for the defender to stay between you and the basket.
Porter swings it into the corner to Brown.
I'd like to see the Crusaders work a little bit more inside-outside. Everything's been on the block as Tebow gets one of his earlier shots here in the game.
Yeah, good-looking drive by Tebow, but it comes up empty, and Flatt Also empty. Pass nearly stolen away. Should have been probably by Weininger.
That's where a lot of times Flatt gets himself in a little bit of trouble. He's a great athlete, good court leader, but as we talked about, his motor is high-strung, and sometimes it's harder for players like that to channel that in the right direction, where not knowing when to go and when to slow down a bit, and that was pretty evident there where he was a bit out of control.
A whistle on the Clifford Brown drive, and they get Weininger. Fourth team foul called on Covenant. Meanwhile, Scecina has already reached 7, so Covenant's shooting 1-1 throughout the rest of the 5-17. Backcourt. Tebow going against the bigger Crane. Can't get by him. Mendez with an attempt. And Brown, he finds an opening, but they want to kick it out. They're hesitant. When they get into that lane, they're still not sure what they want to do with it. Well,
and that's the tough thing, too. It's kind of the ultimate sin when you think about basketball on the offensive end is leaving your feet when you're really not certain what you're doing with it. Not healthy a lot of times to even have jump passes. So really most times leaving your feet offensively is, if you're not attacking the offensive glass, is to shoot the ball. And so that time kind of got caught in the air, didn't know what to do, and had a costly turnover.
Entry pass. Out of the reach of Crane, a turnover committed by Covenant. That's just their third.
Well, I'll tell you that the patience that the Crusaders are doing on the offensive side is real in slowing some things down. Even though Covenant's not an up-tempo team, it's also impacting them with their finding their rhythm both offensively.
Nice pick and roll, and the shot is banked in for Scecina. That cuts the deficit down to 3.
Didn't see who that basket was from there. Was it 15?
It was, and he's gotten the steal, keeps it back in play. Scecina the other way, but it's a travel followed up by Mendez. It might be Keegan Ray, who could be number 15. And if it's not, we apologize, but we do not have a number 15.
I was going to say I didn't see one there, and that's what made it tough. And at the beginning, I thought it was Milan, but I didn't think he was back in there yet. So
Crane trying to take the charge. No call, and it ends up being a good bucket. Crane trying to respond, gets a foul from behind. May have been Mendez.
Crane did a really, really good job last night in the game that I had with them against Covington. Took 3 charges throughout the night, did a great job at both ends of the floor on the glass. But what I like the most, as I told you before our opening segment here tonight, Jared, is that I loved how he found his teammates. Had a number of assists from the mid-post area.
Crane grabs the rebound after missing his 1-and-1 free throw. Now we'll bring it across. Nifty dribbling. Four different scores so far for Covenant to make up their 10 points, and 4 different scores on the other end for Scecina.
That was the thing last night, too, at halftime. Covenant had 7 guys that had scored, so it was a lot of great sharing of the ball. But, again, I think the tempo that the Crusaders have done, you're going to probably get a travel here. Yeah, good call. That tempo on the Crusader side is really, I think, kind of messing a little bit with Covenant's and their ability. Both these teams are teams that will pass up good shots to get better shots, but it has slowed the game down, I think, probably to with the way the Crusaders would like it to be.
A couple of empty possessions. Back and forth we go. Getting a screen is Porter. Slithers through with the speed, finishes with the left. Nifty move by Jordan Porter.
Yeah, I love that too. He called for the ball screen, which is the hardest thing in basketball to defend. You got to really understand low hip, low hand to be able to help with a switch with that to get a ball deflected here. But great job of attacking it.
And attacking, going at the basket. It'll stay with the Warriors. Laughlin had an attempt. Flatt has checked back in, got a quick breather. The second quarter brought to you by Ref Reps, designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations. Ref reps for the new official as well as the seasoned veteran. You can contact them at refreps.com, a seasoned crew with us tonight at Covenant Christian.
I swear, too, when you have your mid-post guys in there working that, like at times when they flash and don't get it, then step out and get a ball screen and really like to utilize that more on the perimeter to make that kind of next line of defense be able to guard you. Because right now, what we kind of refer to this as is more like trimming the edge, where you're just passing the ball around the perimeter and you never kind of punch the gut of the defense, and they really don't have to defend. They can just kind of sit back and contain a bit. Who knows? Maybe they're playing for the last shot, too.
Covenant taking a page out of Scecina's book. Crane finds himself in some trouble. A mostly quiet gym in this first half. Outside, Crane shuffled his feet.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's not so much like a lot of kids will do that to where they turn and look and feel like they didn't travel. But the problem with that is when they catch the ball, they never even established a pivot foot. And so you really put the stripes in a position where that's going to get called 85-90% of the time. And kids just feel like that's not a travel, but it's simply because they have not established that pivot.
Catch and shoot. 3 for Tebow.
Well, and that's a lot of what you see that young man do a lot of last year and even a little bit of this year too. So he's in that scoring column as well now.
Tebow finally gets his name called out. His first points of the afternoon, and gives Scecina the lead, 12-10. The second quarter brought to you by Sportsmanship. It's fair and generous behavior of treatment of others. So be a good sport and respect our coaches, players, officials, and your fellow fans. IndianaSRN and the Indiana State Officials Association knows sportsmanship begins with you. It's about 8:15 on the East Coast. Purdue and Michigan fans filling up Lucas Oil Stadium. That game about to get underway, so a lot of people in the state with their eyes on that action.
They said that they were expecting a full house along with an extra 30,000 to 40,000 being downtown outside of the stadium too. So I'm sure it's you got Purdue's only an hour away. You got Ann Arbor, it's only about 3.5. So close approximation. Great for our city. Shout out to the O'Connell family, Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback, losing a family member here over the last week as well. So I know he's playing with a heavy heart as well.
Rooting on the Boilers tonight, that is for sure.
Well, and this week I think they're calling them Spoiler Makers, aren't they?
That's a good name. I like that.
Calling them the Spoiler Makers.
Fitting for sure, although there's a lot of maize and blue in Lucas Oil tonight.
Well, I'm sure, too, Troy Darengowski, our fellow commentator and play-by-play guy, is wearing a lot of that maize and blue right now.
Down low, turnaround jumper. Is not going to fall. Walsh grabs the rebound, and we're at 45 seconds remaining in this first half.
And one that's been slower and low scoring. Your screen is right there. It is 12-10. And one's been slowed down and mainly controlled as flat, has a nice little drive here, attacking the basket, which is what you expect him to do. We'll go to the line here for 2 shots. But Scecina really on both ends of the floor, Jared, has really controlled it. I mean, offensively, they've been patient, very methodical, but they've also done some good things in gap defense down on the defensive side in slowing down Covenant and really being mindful of the threes that they like to take.
Flat at the free throw line, does not get the home court roll. 3 points tonight so far for Tony. Had a three-pointer in the first quarter.
Mind you, too, these two are in the same sectional 43. So that's between Covenant and University, Park Tudor, and Sheridan, I believe, is the fourth team. But these two will be competing for a sectional title later in March.
Flat goes 50%. That's what the team is at, shooting free throws in this first half. 3 of 6. Scecina just one trip, and they're 1 and 2. Final possession with the basketball, 10 seconds. And a 1-point lead. A low-scoring first half. 5 seconds for Tebow. Into the corner. Going to need a shot off. A whistle and a travel called on the Crusaders, setting up a Covenant heave with 1.2.
Well, see, too, Jared, we talked about earlier how much of the foul trouble that Scecina's in will play out here in the second half. Covenant sitting really good with only 14 fouls.
And Flat did not have a proper angle. Was unable to get off a shot, so that's the halftime buzzer with the visiting Crusaders. Up 1, 12-11 is our halftime score, looking a lot like how the Covenant girls game went this morning at Gearin Catholic. Very low-scoring affair there. You mentioned that foul trouble. We'll most likely see all those guys return. I don't know if we even saw some of those starters that were sitting with those 2 fouls, Craig. Well, no doubt we'll see them start the second half, but they went that whole entire second quarter on the bench.
Yeah, and I mean, when nothing really got out of hand, I mean, it's been a slower-paced game, so I think either team didn't really have the opportunity to kind of stretch this lead, if you will, but it did play in the Coach Stansbury's favor in terms of not having to come back with Barrialt or Milan as they go to half with a 1-point lead.
Leading all scorers is Tony Flat with just 4 points. And maybe we'll see some scoring pick up when we enter the second half. After halftime from Covenant Christian, 12-11, Scecina leads on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
My name is David Pfeiffer. I'm the athletic director here at Covenant Christian High School. I'm also the boys soccer coach. I've been coaching for the last 5 seasons now, and have stepped into this role of athletic director at the same time. My time here at Covenant has been amazing. I've really enjoyed the atmosphere, the environment that I've been able to be a part of as an administrator as well as a coach. Within our athletic department, we offer 18 varsity level sports, and we also have a boys club volleyball as well. You look around the state, there aren't many small schools that offer all of those athletic teams, and within each of those teams we have junior varsity teams and maybe even freshman and C teams. So for our student athletes, there are lots of opportunities, regardless of what your level of experience is, to be able to get some playing time and be a part of a team. Looking back over the last few years, when I think of the success that we've seen within our athletic programs, we've had 43 student athletes, alumni, that have carried on their athletic pursuits at the next level, playing anywhere from the NAIA all the way up to Division I NCAA. And so to have that kind of number at a smaller school like this is pretty great testament of the type of student athletes that we're producing from an athletic standpoint as well. You look back too at the success of our overall teams. Over the last 25 years that Covenant has been in existence, we've won nearly 50 sectional titles, at least 10 regional titles, 5 semi-state titles, and then more recently our football team winning the 2020 1A state championship. So it's neat to see our teams being able to compete at the highest of levels and attain those accolades from a team perspective and an individual experience as well. I think what's also unique about being in a smaller school is those options and opportunities to play in multiple sports. As a former high school and collegiate athlete, I had the opportunity to play multiple sports in high school, and the opportunity to build a relationship with different teammates on different teams as well as different coaches is really unique, and I think an awesome opportunity that our student athletes have here at Covenant. Speaking of our coaches, each of our coaching staff have a personal relationship with Jesus, and their heart and their intention is to certainly help you grow as an athlete for sure, but we're also challenging to grow academically in the classroom, but also in their personal relationship with the Lord as well. So I think that's another unique thing about athletics here at Covenant Christian is this opportunity to help us pursue Christ in the midst of our academic and our athletic pursuits at the same time. At Covenant, we certainly want to provide an education-based athletic experience. So we certainly take seriously that our students are first students, right? They're student athletes, not athlete students. So from beginning to end, we want to provide accountability and a charge for you to succeed in the classroom and to be excellent stewards of the time that you have there, so that you're setting yourself up well for academics down the road as well. But we also want to compete at the highest of levels, and we want to try to equip and enable each of our student athletes to become the best version of themselves in the classroom and on the athletic contest field. So I think one of the unique things again about what we're trying to accomplish is this whole person development, right? We're challenging you to grow in the classroom, we're challenging you to compete at the highest level, and we're challenging you again to grow in your personal relationship with Jesus Christ as well.
Hey, conductor! How about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid earned that solo!
You saying I did?
Yeah!
Come on!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
"16 minutes down, 16 left to go. Scecina leads 12-11 on IndianaSRN with Craig Cox. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks for joining us. A very low-scoring first half. A lot of time you see those numbers after one quarter, maybe even with some time left in that first quarter. But nonetheless, pretty good defense and not too many turnovers to talk about either. Leading everyone in scoring, like we said, is Tony Flatt with 4, and then you look the rest of the way across the board, a lot of 2s and 3s. Scecina has 1 made 3 from Tebow. And then other than that, a couple of field goals amongst 4 different players. And a pretty similar scenario on the other side for Covenant Christian. So can we expect a lot of the same, you think, in half number 2?
Well, I think it's not really characteristic, you know, of even a first-year coach with Coach Stansberg, they're putting up 65 points a game, but they're only allowing 49. So, I don't know if it was really much into the early foul trouble with two of their key players, or, each night, each game that you have, sometimes there can be some different tactics that you have. I don't know that Coach Stansborough went in thinking it was going to be as such, but it is what it is at this point. I do look for it to possibly change a little bit. I don't know that we're going to see him get to 65, but I think it does probably play a little bit more towards Scecina's piece, because they've controlled both sides. They're doing what they want to, I think, defensively and offensively on both sides.
And those three players that got into foul trouble, all starters, Burial, Milan, and also Trimble, Sunderland, and that kind of shifted the offense around a little bit, who, they stuck to, let's play the patient game, wait around, find some open areas and that sort of thing, but also give credit to Covenant Christian for attacking those said guys, and they got them into foul trouble, and that could end up being a huge piece as the rest of the game goes out.
It did. I think the tough thing, though, was for Coach Flatt and his Warriors was that they weren't able to neutralize the opportunity that they had with those three guys sitting on the bench for a fair amount of time. I mean, one of those with great length in Milan at 6'8". And so, when you have situations as such, you want to try to, capitalize on those, but they just weren't able to do that. I think the Crusaders have done a good job in kind of extending their defense out beyond the arc and taking away the three, which is really what Covenant likes to do a lot, and really forcing them to drive. But they've done a great job in the help side defense and gap defense as well.
Before this third quarter gets underway, I want to let you know it's brought to you by Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. We suggest you contact his team for all your insurance needs, family, car, business, and home. An insurance company to serve you. 317-894-7000. Pat Cherry Insurance Agency. Third quarter now underway with Scecina going from right to left. There's Milan back out there, but he has it poked away. Flat rips it away from him.
Well, you're big like that. You want to really kind of catch that ball and kind of chin it, if you will. Read your defense, kind of assess, and then make your move. He's he's just sophomore, so he's got time to learn, as I'm sure he will. But it's things like that you want to assess as we get a nice steal here by Porter.
Yeah, Porter comes flying through, and Crane had no idea that he was going to come in behind him. And it's an easy steal and bucket.
The types of moments there where you want to get basket vision again or pivot and face up.
Wash, long three and a long rebound, finds Flat. Another three-point attempt. This one going in this time. Second chance. Paxton Bacon makes Scecina pay.
Well, and last night Paxton had 3 threes in the game. I think he finished with 11 or 12. Great roll off the bench. You've seen early on here in this first minute where Covenant's got some more outside shooting going, which is, I think, what their comfort zone is.
Third three made by Covenant, and it ties things up at 14. Tebow shredding through everybody. And now Mendez tries to get around Wash. They call the foul, and the bucket is good. A chance at a three-point play for David Mendez.
Yeah, and he's cracked the scoring combo. What a crafty move. Kind of got down, and you're really seeing that move a lot more over the last couple years. We're kind of driving in and kind of, just more of a scoop where you don't bring the ball back into two hands and kind of catch your defender a little off guard a bit.
And converting the three-point play, Mendez, his first points. Back to a Scecina three-point lead. Flat, the cutting man. Crane, enough space, the lefty. And a rebound made by Burial.
Good job there. Even though you got a controlled rebound, Covenant did a great job in their defensive transitioning.
Some more patient offense by Scecina.
There we get the Laker cut we were talking about earlier. That was nice. Give and go.
Good cut by Burial and the find by Milan. Good extra pass. Wash on the drive and an easy lay-in for Wyatt.
Love to see that again. Could have taken the three, and it wouldn't have really been a bad shot either. You kind of got good ball movement, but he passed up a good shot to get a better, and not only a better one, but the better percentage at that. So really nice attack by Wyatt.
Tebow works along with Porter.
High post here being exposed a bit more there. You kind of get the entrance pass. Nice kick out.
Porter working all the way around the half court, and Tebow's three in the corner. Off the rim. Flat with a little mini fast break going the other way.
Good decision there by Tony. Kind of had it in transition. What you want to do is push until the defense guards you and take something away and then play for a better one.
Another three. 2 for 2 now is Paxton Bacon. Covenant Christian now with a 2-point advantage.
Well, and you've seen they've probably shot. Looks like they're going to get a charge. Yep. You've already seen as many threes, 5 they've taken here in the second half than probably about what they took in the whole first half. So things are kind of loosening up a little bit, for not only on the Crusaders' defense, but they're getting some things. Covenant is that in some transition to initiate themselves into this as we see the replay. Really did a good job there of being off the ball. Talk about that a lot. When you're off the ball, kind of being locked and loaded with your feet ready to catch and shoot.
Crane, high post, kicks out. Another three goes up, and it's
Make
good.
It 4, possibly.
Wyatt Wash this time, and he has a chance at a 4-point play.
Don't see that a lot, but when you get it, it's always special. Kind of the uncharted areas where you get. But great find again. We talked about Crane earlier about how his court vision. He does a great job, especially when he's in the high post as he knocks down the free throw to convert the 4-point play.
3-point parade in this third quarter. 3 of them have been hit. 2 from Bacon. And now Wash, and Tebow can't answer with a 3 of his own. Covenant off and running with a 6-point lead. Crane trying to add to it. He left the floater short. And now Mendez trying to take on the entire Covenant defense, and he draws a foul, and it could be on Tony Flatt.
And the pace for both these teams now is picked up quite a bit. Both these teams almost approaching scoring almost in half of a quarter is what they both did in the entire first half.
Yeah, Covenant had 11 points at the half. They already have 12 through the halfway mark of this third quarter. Mendez, his first free throw, uses the rim. Mendez with 4 points in the quarter could make it 5. Madden Berryalt has come into the ball game. Wash and Bacon have done the damage in this third quarter for Covenant Christian, as Mendez now has his team trailing by 4. Crane with a nice cut. Finds Wash on the outside. Maybe a heat check right there and a foul. Going after the loose ball, will head the other way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, we talked about Andrew Crane being a position to find. He hasn't found the scoring column tonight, but he's really finding his teammates, and got to like that in terms of he's almost like a pass-first guy, but he's one that can certainly get you 10 or 12 a night as well.
Porter looking for a screen from Milan. He gets it with the left hand. Going at Laughlin, and went up with the right on the left side, and then ends up following it up with a foul.
And sometimes those can become some frustration type things, but as hard as it might be, you didn't get what you wanted offensively. You just got to retreat back and get back on defense. What you don't want is to be silly and foul 85 feet from the basket, especially when they're not in a position of being a scoring threat.
Some more offense and a good cut. Crane got a nice screen right around the elbow. And a good find by his teammate.
Well, and what it is, too, is the passer in a lot of those situations becomes the biggest threat on the floor. But a lot of times the defense thinks it's always the opposite. I'm guarding a guy and you just passed it. I think I can relax. But they're really the biggest threat because they're the least paid attention to after making it.
Mendez was relentless going at the bucket, but he turns it over. 6-point lead could grow And that's the largest we've seen so far for Covenant Christian.
I think the man-to-man defense on both sides of the floor for these teams, too, is creating more opportunities for both teams offensively and what we've seen different here in the third quarter than we saw in the first half.
Scecina has
Somebody got away with travel. Here we go, yeah.
He did.
I think Tony Fleck kind of got away with a little bit of shuffle, too, but they didn't miss it twice.
Scecina has veered away from that 2-3 zone. There's a look at that screen that Flat was able to set up for Crane.
Yeah, just off the ball screens. You gotta be able to open those up for a lot of offensive play.
Timeout on the floor called by Scecina with 2:30 left to play. Coach Stambro's team trailing by 6. This third quarter sponsored by Jack's Donuts. Great donuts made fresh daily, every day, plus great tasting coffee. Stop by Jack's Donuts today, 9105 East 56th Street, or any Jack's Donuts in your neighborhood. Jack's Donuts, the official donut of IndianaSRN, and Coach was happy to let us know that he had a delicious cheeseburger for dinner tonight. That's what he had.
Just got to find out from him what it is. He's talking about food all the time. Tell him, you can text him back and have him have Grubhub or DoorDash or somebody drop us by something, right?
I was telling Nick, our producer, earlier, we need, especially for these Saturday games, we need some Jack's Donuts ready for us if we're going to be working a Saturday game. We've had some good games today, too.
Yeah, well, you talk about donuts, though. I think they got to be longs. It's just too nice. Troy and I were talking about that earlier today. I said, like this morning, they had some games, but you got to get there early while they're warm. But we got to stop talking about food.
Yeah, we do.
I'm hungry.
It's hard to mess up a donut, though, too. I mean, there's a lot of good places. There's some premier places. I think Jack's is right up there, of course. Yeah. But, I mean, it's hard to mess up a donut.
We think Jack's is the best because they sponsor us.
We also and Jack's is the best. It's premier for sure. And that's not it's not called. We thought Tebow.
I thought somebody hit it, but
and they'll follow up with an offensive foul called on Porter. Yeah. Tebow definitely, we thought, hit it right around the heel of the Warrior logo, and then he went across the half-court stripe, but not called. Still, Covenant Christian ends up with it. Little delay in the action, making sure everybody's set up, ready to go. Laughlin out on the floor with Flat. The rest of the five is Bacon, Crane, and Wash. That's the starting five for Coach Flat, and a turnover. Up to Milan at 6'8", and he throws it down with the right hand.
Yeah, really good job there by Madden Berryall, just with the touch pass. Didn't kind of catch it and possess it to where it could have kind of taken away the pass ahead. Ball always advances down the floor quicker with the pass than it does the dribble.
Traveling called on Andrew Crane. Another Covenant Christian turnover, but we get to look at this jam yet again from Milan.
Yeah, good job with the big fella sending it home.
Looks like he almost jumped too late. His head was going to hit the rim.
Yeah, good job, though, running the floor, kind of being that thoroughbred and beating the ball down the floor.
Crane on the rebound gets fouled from behind. And we'll make the long walk towards the other end. Madden is called for that personal foul, his first. Final 90 seconds in quarter number 3. Porter, Milan, Berryall, Mendez, and Tebow are the five in for Scecina Cove. There's Flat on a cut. It'll stay on this end. Porter was the last one to hit it out, but more good cutting without the basketball made by these Covenant players.
Well, and that's what you want, too, is what's the activity like off the ball? How hard are you being able to be defended or harder to guard by your movement as opposed to standing around?
Flat. Mendez falling over nearly, and a more good cutting. There's Laughlin.
And, you know, it's not only off the ball cutting, but it's what players do in terms of finding their teammates. And that starts with vision. They're making it about their teammates as opposed to about themselves. So really good job of sharing of the basketball.
A much better scoring quarter in this third, but Mendez silences the home crowd with that 3.
And he's got 8 here in this third quarter. He's scoreless in the first half. Really done a good job here for the Crusaders on the offensive end.
All of a sudden, Mendez becoming a factor. Flat finds enough room to rise up for that 3 over Porter. That's the second 3 for Tony.
You shoot one, I'll shoot one.
And maybe Tebow's thinking about one instead.
He'll
hand it off, and a 3 goes down. Scecina has a chance at a 4-point play.
Yeah, it's rare sometimes you see that in a game, let alone in the same quarter. So they got a chance to knock this down and Madden Bear out. What a way to enter in the scoring column with a 3 as we get another look at it here. And the thing about it is Paxton Bacon knew it as soon as he hit. And, when you're talking about closing out, that's why you want to go hands high, and hips low and not going more uncontrolled as he knocks down and converts the 4-point play. Looks like they'll hold for one here. Situations like this, too, you don't want to go too early either. And give them a chance. But
his 3.
Open 3, you'll take it.
Top of the key and a long distance heave. Ends up being intercepted by Crane. He jolts his team to a 5-point lead. Heading to the 4th and final quarter. Don't go anywhere. An exciting 8 minutes is about to unfold here at Covenant Christian High School. We're back at the home of the Warriors with Craig Cox. I'm Jarrett Lewis, Covenant Christian. A very good scoring quarter that time. They doubled the amount of points they had in the entire first half. They had 11. They trailed by 1 heading into the locker room, but now hold a 33-28 lead over the visiting Crusaders.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is probably more what both teams certainly would like. And I think a big difference is, again, you're seeing more man-to-man from both these teams. You also got Scecina as kind of more at good standing with their availability of their players, where 3 of them had 2. Got another 3 here coming there by Niemeyer, comes up short. And I think that's what sped the game up a little bit more for both these and kind of getting more of the looks and activity that they'd like with the backdoor here for Crane.
Good backdoor cut by Crane. Had 2 points, his first points in the previous quarter, and now starts the 4th, extending the lead out to 7.
And for those viewers out there watching our game and maybe not the Purdue game, see they just got on the board to tie Michigan up.
Coach is probably watching this game on the TV, and then he's got the Purdue game pulled up on the laptop or his phone or however, vice versa. Trying to be spoiler makers tonight, our Purdue. Meanwhile, 7-point lead. That's what Michigan was up by, and now the Boilermakers do tie it up. Drive by Porter, but he traveled. Teams have been able to limit their turnovers tonight. They each have 8. Lead has swapped back and forth just a few times. Covenant, though, has had the largest lead of the game at 7. Offensive foul.
I think you're going to get it on the screen and not properly establishing himself. and that's what it is, yeah, as well.
17 fouls, mark note of that for Covenant Christian. So the rest of the way, Scecina will have free throws. 2 screens up top. Mendez has his option, goes to the right, but his man was flying upwards.
That's where you'd really like to see your players kind of come to a jump stop. He's kind of throwing that while he's still, running instead of coming to a stop and opening up and kind of getting a wrap pass, if you will.
Covenant Christian, a prime opportunity right here. Could make this a double-digit lead. Flat attacks Porter, who pokes it from behind. On the ground is Weininger.
A really good job. I like the scrappiness on both sides, getting on the floor, seeing a loose ball. Looks like they're going to call a foul here, though. Looks like on Barrialt. Looks like Madden.
Madden, you can kind of see his reaction. Couldn't believe that call. So he checks out, and his older brother Mason has come in. Referee's checking out something at the scores table. They have it figured out, it appears. Weininger gets it out of the corner. They swing it all the way around the world. Flat in the corner. His 3 rattles home. Tony Flat, for the 3rd time, has a triple.
It's a tough shot there, too. Very well contested, but did a great job of moving the ball kind of around the horn, if you will, as a baseball term, but let it go and knocked it down. So he's got 9 on the board for himself.
And Scecina right there had just turned it over. They were out of bounds on that pass that was made. Full timeout called by Coach Stambro. We will step aside. A 10-point lead for the Warriors.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners, because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Our 4th quarter brought to you by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe, a new spot for breakfast or lunch. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. They got breakfast, they got lunch, whatever you want. Located in Lawrence, Indiana, 6427 Oak Landing Road. You can try carry out. Call them at 317-760-1640. Some more food to talk about.
I was going to say, we keep hitting all the food.
Makes me hungry. Might have to hit a drive-through spot on the way home. But Flat turns it over. Coach not happy. Both teams are now in double-digit turnovers.
And which is kind of common. I mean, anytime in high school you can stay under that is really, really exceptional. But you always want to kind of keep it around that 10 or 12. And not get too much above that is where it starts getting a little bit slippery.
And something you don't want to follow up with that is fouls kind of away from the basket, because now you have Mendez at the free throw line, and he's already 3 for 3.
Yeah, and both teams are in the bonus now, and Scecina's approaching the double bonus. What happened here? Got a inadvertent. Yeah, you got to inadvertent. You see Coach Stambro. You saw the hand reaction. Would have loved to have been able to get an upshot, close face shot of that. It's like, really, you're gonna do that while my player's shooting? But they'll have to get a redo here on this one.
Somebody's got a happy trigger.
Did we have a sub at the table? I didn't see. I think we have one come in. They let him still sub, but
So he'll get another free throw. It is 1-1.
it's like the Euro League now. If he hits this one, it's 3 to make 2, right?
Mendez makes him pay for it.
He's been good at the line tonight. I don't know that he's missed.
He has
4-4.
That's exactly right. And he's got 9 points, a chance to make it 10. But more importantly, cut into the deficit.
And he's now in double digits with 10. Seeing some full court pressure here.
Porter is up on flat. Mendez comes over to help out.
Well, and this is once again, the pressure is fine, but you can't ride the belly. I mean, you're always going to get that called against you. You just want to stay contained. You want to really be in a position where you're just keeping an arm's length away, contained pressure, and you try to have the offense create a turnover based by your presence, but not bailing them out. And in this particular case, they're shooting fouls. And so they're not in scoring threat, so it's something you certainly don't want to put your team at risk of doing.
Flat is good on his first free throw.
He's now got 11.
Milan checks back in. Quiet night for Caleb, just 4 points. Flat, meanwhile, a perfect trip, gives him 12. And the pace of play will start to pick up for Scecina. Tebow gets to a spot, and that looked real good.
Yeah, that's how he hit his 3 early. It was in midway through the second quarter before he scored. But he's got a really nice shot, and both of them came off the dribble.
Farrell drives baseline, and he beat everybody.
Well, and somebody's got to be able to stop the ball. Ball presence has to be known. Now we're kind of getting into a track meet.
The thing about Tebow, too, he has just 5 points to his credit, and he hasn't shot it very often. Maybe 3 or 4 times we've seen him put it up. You would think a guy like him would have more attempts by now, but he might start to put it up a little bit more. That was a good-looking 3 that almost went down. Up the floor.
Skip pass. It's a good look.
Weininger passes up an open look, wisely so, to get maybe a better look, but Milan and his length gets that shot blocked.
Yeah, and that too, like Milan there, he started to make his move on the one time, got the contact, and then he gave it up. Got to just continue to pound and back that down. Again, he's young, he'll learn, as we talked about earlier, but you'd like to see him assert himself, especially when he gets that deep in the paint.
And Scecina for a moment there had actually gotten it back, but they stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Laughlin is in for Covenant. Skip pass almost looked like it was there for Laughlin, but now Weininger looking to get out of some trouble. Good pass up the floor to Crane.
Another thing I'm liking doing the Anders there, he's catching the ball and facing. He's not turning, especially when you have pressure and trying to duck the head and dribble. So good patience, good decision here. You broke the press. You didn't have a shot, a good percentage one, and play for a better one.
Flat. Good defense by Tebow, and he comes in from behind. Crusader fans thought they had a clean swipe.
Both teams with 8 team fouls, so not only in the 1-and-1, but obviously both teams will be approaching the double bonus, 2 shots at the 10th, as Laughlin will go to the line for the first time tonight.
Nobody in serious foul trouble on either side. Nobody has more than 3. And Milan, who had 2 fouls at the half, is still stuck at 2, so he can finish out the rest of this game. Good looking form for Jamison Laughlin. His 3rd point. 3-point shooting, I think, has been a difference in the second half. Covenant has made 6 from beyond the arc, and they've also been perfect in their free throws, 5 for 5. Mendez with a 3 of his own, short. Halfway mark of our 4th and final quarter. Flat. Him and Laughlin keeping control, trying to burn some clock. Reach-in fouls. Mendez and Tebow were trying to set up a trap, and you can kind of hear some displeasures amongst Crusader fans, some perhaps ticky-tack fouls. And most definitely the pressure is going to have to ramp up, and they're going to have to get more risky going after the basketball.
Yeah, you open up a double digit and almost pressing it to 15, close to it if he can hit these two here as well. And so the margin's getting a little thinner for the Crusaders, but still time on the clock. With you can get a few knockdown shots with some stops. Certainly want to try to look at back-to-back stops if you can. Got his 13th point of the night. Tony Flatt here at the line.
Flatt has been a problem, although the second free throw is off in this half. He's got 9. Cross-court pass to Brown. Brown got it back.
Yeah. They say that got deflected, but looked like he had possession of it.
Burial, he's been quiet tonight. Got a nice kick out. Clifford Brown's 3.
Yeah. Like that action there, really downhill attack, pulled the defense, got the kick, really good action that they got there, just couldn't get it to drop. And now you got another foul, which this is actually the 10th, so they are in the double bonus at this point.
Could be a long 3:26 after Burial's 4th foul. Covenant and their free throw shooting, getting stops or forcing turnovers on Scecina's end, and then you get good shooters like Wyatt Wash at the free throw line just tacking on.
Yeah, and they shot it well last night from the line as well as here. Wash, a 6'6 senior, great length for Coach Flatt and the Warriors here as he knocks them both down.
And he's in the double digits.
Nice find there. Again, talk about basket vision. Tebow really finding the look there. Barry couldn't get it to drop in terms of possessing the ball there with another turnover at a good scoring opportunity.
Another Scecina turnover. A couple of substitutions during this dead ball time. Offense for defense for Coach Stambro. The toughest team that they have faced so far this season. They have that 4-1 record, but their opponents' records are below 500.
Yeah, think about ball movement. Give it back there. Really nice job. A little give and go. Great court presence and vision to be able to find Wash back. Really good action there by the Warriors offense.
Wash to Bacon, back to Wash. Foul on the Tebow drive. And you blink, and all of a sudden, up 17 is Covenant Christian.
It's one thing after doing their game last night, tonight, one thing I'm really loving about, and these have been typical with a lot of Coach Flatt's team. I had the opportunity to coach against Scott for years, and they've always done a good job of this, but it just continues. And just a sense of culture to where they do a good job of sharing the basketball, but really good distribution of the ball here tonight.
Tebow's 2 for 2, 7 points for Keaton. Full court press. Thought about trapping Flatt, but they opt not to. Crane, a nice pass down the length of the floor to find a wide open Wyatt Wash.
He's got 11 in the second half for a total of 13 as Tebow comes back and hits his 2. We'll get a timeout coming here.
Quickly called timeout, 30 seconds on the floor. It's a 15-point Covenant Christian lead. Yeah, Tebow did not score at all in quarters 1 and 3.
I think they've changed it now to a full timeout as the players take a seat on the bench.
So we'll step aside then with Covenant up 15. 2:40 left to go in our fourth quarter.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, We can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Just 2 minutes and 40 seconds left for the Warriors. If they can hold on, they can get their third win of the season through 4 games. They'll have to go up against this full court pressure applied. Tebow, Porter, and Brown are in the backcourt. Good movement for the Warriors to break it.
Well, the secret of that is obviously, catch and face first. Don't try to dribble through traps.
Nearly disaster.
See the ball movement, just really, really good job.
Really good job.
And guess
Flat
who?
to Bacon.
I think it is Wash again.
Wash, I think, has the last 3 field goals. He's got 8 points in this quarter, 16 for the game. Him and Bacon have just been on the same page all night tonight.
We're not getting another horn. Boy, we're shooting our.
It's a whistle this time.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we saw much in the same with Wyatt last night. He ended up with like 12 or 14, but had 11 in the second half. And he's been that way tonight. Had 2 in the first, and looks like he had like maybe 16 here in the second. But he's done a great job here tonight in the scoring column.
Bad pass, steal, Weininger with the left, and I don't know why Wash went up like that.
Guess he wanted some more, I guess.
He's playing a little.
It wasn't needed, but offensive.
I think he wanted Weininger to throw it off the glass, and he would just throw it down, little alley-oop action. Looked like Weininger was going to have that layup, and Wash said, wait a second. Porter stops on a dime and banks it home.
Yeah, really nice decision there. Just pull up.
Some more good passing, finding the open man, and a hustling closeout to bat it out of bounds by Porter.
Love to see that too. I mean, you got a team that's down 16 points under 2 minutes to go. They're still competing, still doing the hustle plays. Got to like that. This is always a different type of scenario. Taking it out in the deep corner like this can be a tough position.
Flat, good basketball awareness. And gets fouled here, this time from Maddenberry.
Certainly don't want to hatch the egg before it's ready to be done, but really quality win, and what looks to be a win for the Warriors here tonight, especially after Scecina just coming off beating Park Tudor last night. Big win for them, and then for them to turn around. Sometimes it's hard to put in those back-to-back nights, regardless of who you're playing. But you have 2 sectional opponents, as Scecina did with last night and tonight, but Covenant, got off to a really slow start to the Crusaders' credit. But in the second half, kind of saw what both more of these teams are about, and Covenant running away with it here in the last quarter.
Mass substitution for Coach Flat, and after Tony sinks his free throws, he checks out. So a brand new 5 on the floor to wrap this one up for Covenant Christian. Porter on a drive, gets fouled by Weininger, and a chance at a 3-point play for Jordan Porter.
Last night did much in the same to where Covenant brought in some subs with about 2.5 minutes to go. They were up 17, and it got Covington went on a 7-0 run, and Coach Flat pulled all 5 of his starters back off the bench and put them back in with about 1:20 to go. So hopefully we don't see another night of that here tonight.
I think there's a good chance that Covenant Christian can put the cap on this one. In some trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to dribble there. You know, a lot of times we refer to that, your corners of your half court, all 4 of them we call coffin corners, because you kind of go there, you're kind of dead in those positions, and that's kind of exactly where he dribbled right to that and then picked his dribble up. It's exactly what the defense wants you to do, so you really want to avoid those areas of the floor.
That was Niemeyer, and he actually got fouled in that coffin corner.
Knocks down his first. He's got 4 on the night. First free throw. It's also another senior. Jarrett talked about earlier how this team is, you know, full of experience, as Ware with the rebound. Has a lot of seniors on this team.
8 different scorers tonight for Covenant Christian.
And they had 7 last night. So
make it 9 different scores. Samuel Ware. First shot attempt, nothing but net.
The big fella, 6'5", you know, junior, shows his comfort.
Porter a deep 3, able to answer. Jordan Porter's had quite the fourth quarter with 7. 12 for the game for Jordan. Ware in some trouble. Little game of keep away. Porter gonna add on to it. He gets fouled. No reason to do that, really, if you're Covenant Christian at this stage, but Porter will head back to the free throw line. He's just 1 of 2 there. Confident looking shot on that made 3-pointer. This is the front end of the 1-and-1. Next up for Covenant Christian. A couple days of much-needed rest, I'm guessing, after this double weekend. Playing last night, we'll win over Covington. They'll play December 8th at Greenwood Christian Academy. So 5 days from now, they'll get some much-needed practice in. As will Scecina, their game. Next one. So that shot off the side of the backboard and followed in by Niemeyer. But for Scecina, they'll take on University December 9th. Basket made by Aaron Florence. Final seconds will tick down. It'll be a 17-point victory for the home Warriors of Covenant Christian. 62-45 is our final. Terrific scoring outputs from Tony Flapp, Wyatt Wash, Paxton Bacon, a couple of made threes, but it was Wash and Flatt who are going to end this one in double digits. 15 for Tony, 17 for Wyatt Wash. He leads all scorers. A game that was really close at the beginning. I didn't think we would reach the 60-point mark, but here we are with Covenant Christian.
Yeah, and Scecina was averaging 60, 65 and only getting up 49. But, yeah, I mean, we had, 12 to 11 or
11 to 12 halftime score. That's exactly
score.
Right.
So, but again, we talked about halfway through the third quarter, both teams have scored the equivalent to what they did in the whole first half. So things picked up, and certainly a great quality win for Covenant here tonight.
11 points in that first half for Covenant. How about 51 in the second half of play? They really turned things on for Coach Flatt, who picks up career win number 203. Covenant Christian is now 3-1. Scecina falls to 4-2. Both teams will be back in action towards the middle stages of next week. That wraps up a jam-packed week of basketball here on IndianaSRN. We had 4 games on the network this afternoon, and in the nightcap, it was Covenant Christian who defended their home court and got the victory 62-45 for our entire team. Justin Griffiths, our cameraman, our producer, Nick Lewis, and for Craig Cox, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. Follow us on Twitter so you keep up to date on all the games coming up for you next week right here on IndianaSRN. So long, everybody.